The war between Israel and Iran, with the involvement of the United States, is not just another regional conflict. It is a moment that could reshape the global economy, geopolitics, and the future of millions of lives. Lives are being lost, families are being displaced, businesses are collapsing, entire communities are being destroyed. And the question we must ask today is simple but powerful. Where does this take the world, and where does it take Iran by 2030? Because here on Vision 2030, we talk about the future, about development, prosperity, and preparing nations and individuals for the next era. But war moves nations in the opposite direction of progress. War destroys, development builds. And history has already shown us what happens when destruction wins. Part 1. The human cost of war. Whenever war breaks out, the headlines often focus on military strategies and political leaders. But the real cost of war is paid by ordinary people, civilians, children, families, communities. In every war, we see the same painful pattern. Homes destroyed, schools closed, hospitals overwhelmed, businesses shut down, and millions displaced. This has already happened in Ukraine. Cities that once had thriving economies now struggle to rebuild basic infrastructure. Factories stop producing, young people flee the country, investors disappear, and an economy that took decades to build can collapse in just months. Part 2. The global economic shock. Wars today don't just affect the countries involved, they affect the entire world economy. When tensions rise in the Middle East, the first shock usually hits energy markets. Oil prices rise, fuel prices increase globally. Transport becomes more expensive, and once transport becomes expensive, everything else follows. Food prices increase. Supply chains slow down. Inflation rises. This means a conflict between Israel and Iran can affect families in Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Americas. Part 3. The cost of destruction. War is incredibly expensive. Modern warfare costs billions of dollars every week, money that could have been invested in infrastructure, education, healthcare, technology, and innovation. Instead, that money is spent on weapons. It is very easy to destroy, but it is incredibly difficult to rebuild. Cities bombed today may take 30 or 50 years to fully recover. Part 4. Religious interpretations versus reality. Many interpret events involving Israel and Iran through the lens of biblical prophecy. Regardless of interpretation, ideology, or politics, war still destroys lives. It leaves behind broken economies, traumatized societies, and lost generations. Part 5. Lessons from Hiroshima and Nagasaki. History has shown us the devastating consequences of extreme warfare in one of our most tragic moments. But something powerful happened afterward. Japan made a choice. Instead of pursuing war, the country chose economic development, technology, and innovation. Today, Japan is one of the world's most advanced economies. This shows us that even after destruction, nations can rebuild with peace and vision. Part 6. The question for Iran. Vision 2030. Where will Iran be in 2030? Will it be rebuilding its economy and attracting global investment, or will it be struggling to recover from years of conflict? Every nation must decide between the path of conflict or the path of development. Part 7. What should the world do? The answer is not complicated. Dialogue, diplomacy, negotiation. History shows us that most wars eventually end at the negotiating table. The sooner leaders prioritize diplomacy, the sooner rebuilding can begin. Part 8. Choosing development over war. The idea behind Vision 2030 is simple. It is about preparing nations and people for the future. The world faces a choice: continue cycles of conflict, or build a future where nations compete through innovation, technology, and economic progress. Conclusion: peace is not just a moral goal. It is also an economic necessity. Because without peace, there can be no sustainable development. If the world truly believes in a better future by 2030, then the focus must shift from destruction to development. The sooner humanity can move forward. Outro. If you believe the world must move from war to development, then subscribe to Vision 2030 for more insights. The future is something we prepare for.